Yeah. One. This is 96.1 FMLP, Pole People's Revolutionary Radio. This is JV, and this is Free Azlan. Today we got a special guest, Dulce. Dulce is she's a producer and a very powerful cultura worker in the Chicano community, in the Chicano nation. And she's doing some great things in Sanjo and throughout the Bay Area. So Dulce, welcome to Free Azlan.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words and the warm welcoming. Nice to be in the show here with you.
Absolutely. And so Dulce, let's talk about this Chicano Soul Fiesta. I know you're putting together this event. It's coming up next month. And so what is the Chicano Soul Fiesta?
Chicano Soul Fiesta is an event that promotes Chicano cultura and an indoor-outdoor event. We'll have vendors there, arms, classic cars, lowriders, DJs, live music. We're going to have some performers there. Starring Trish Toledo, Beatriz Gonzalez. She went viral, so these are all very talented women. Again, embracing cultura and giving the women this platform. Our very own Bay, from the Bay, is they're all going to be backed up by mariachi, so we're going to have oldies there. But also, like I said, it's promoting culture, so gotta put in the roots there, and gonna have the mariachi and the whole thing there. So it's gonna be a really good event.
Absolutely. And one of the things, we haven't had a distinct Chicano event in a long time. We have things like the Chicano Moratorium that's coming up as well this month. And that's something that's distinctly derived from the Chicano nation, something that was created from the Chicano people, and the Chicano Moratorium is addressing, Chicanos filling the ranks of the U.S. military, but this is a struggle that affects our people, affects our nation. So every time I hear about an event that is aimed at the Chicano nation, it makes me very proud, and I'm very happy to participate in it and do what I can to help promote it. I think it's a beautiful thing. But
I appreciate your sponsorship and your support. Definitely,
absolutely.
Getting together and supporting each other, encouraging each other, and just promoting cultura.
Absolutely, and it's all a part of rebuilding the nation when we support each other and all of our projects that uplift our people, uplift the Chicano nation, uplift the raza, and it's a beautiful thing. I love it. But you talked about cultura, and I just want to say, I want to ask actually, why is it important to promote Chicano culture?
To promote Chicano culture because I believe as Chicanas, it is our social responsibility to come united and represent for our raza by preserving culture. We have to keep it alive. We have to pass it down to our kids and the generation, our values, our morals, our culture, and that's why it's important.
Absolutely, and if this generation isn't keeping Chicano culture alive, then the next generation would, basically grow up without knowing their own culture. And that's a problem. And so, I've been seeing in the news and the media, even the corporate media, where, people are talking about there's a Chicano renaissance, and for us, our culture has always been here. We've always practiced it. We've grown up with it. We know it. We love it. But for a lot of people, they're not aware of it. So when I read in the even the corporate media, which is mostly propaganda, state propaganda, but when I even hear about them talking about Chicano culture and the Chicano Renaissance, we know that that this is being noticed from many other spheres, many other levels of this society are taking notice that the Chicano nation is rebuilding, and we are moving forward in a forward motion. So let me ask you this. You know, what I'd like to know your thoughts on this. What can happen to our gente if the Chicano nation does not have its own events like Chicano Soul Fiesta?
Well, I think it is important to congregate and bring our gente together to enjoy these events. Because we have to remain passionate about our cultura. We have to be proud and stand proud for what we represent. And these type of events bring people together. And these type of events will render assistance in making it possible to keep our cultura strong, solid, and striving.
Awesome, beautiful. Yeah, and you know what? It's almost like I see you as a cultura worker. So for people involved in in cultura, and whether that's the danzantes, or whether that's the lowrider scene, or whether it's the music. I know you do a lot of music as well. All of this stuff is has to do with our culture: music, food, dance, the style, the way we dress, the music we listen to, the language. All of this has to do with our culture, and it's very important for a people, for a nation, to continue being strong, to continue moving forward. If they have a strong culture, if there's a strong culture, we're gonna have a strong nation. But cultura is just not gonna manifest itself, materialize out of thin air. And so even throughout history, in other societies and other countries that continue to have a strong nation, it's always been the cultura workers, the cultural workers, who have promoted that nation's culture, and many times it's a sacrifice, because many times people are doing it with investing a lot of their time, is investing a lot of their money, and so a lot of times it's not a real popular thing to be a cultural worker, and to promote art, to promote music. People can do a lot of other things to make money. There's a lot of other ways to hustle and make money or whatever. But, I think cultural workers, this is a very special job. I think it's a very special responsibility. And, most cultural workers will not be recognized. I think that the most profound cultural workers will not be noticed in their own life and recognized. But I think in many cases, after these cultural workers are no longer alive, the people, the nation, the raza will recognize them as having a very strong part, a very strong role in re-energizing cultura, and re-energizing re-energizing the nation. Because culture is, I see cultural workers as keeping the drum of resistance beating within the hearts and the minds of the raza. So I think that I see you as a fellow cultural worker as well. I'm very proud of you, what you're doing, and
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, I don't do it for credit. I do it because it's in my heart. It's in my heart to be passionate about my culture and just what I represent. And I educated myself to come as far as I have, and if I could create a platform for other people to bring out their talent, and other people come out and enjoy it. It's all, again, it's just spreading the Chicanismo and keeping these type of events alive, because they're going to be remembered. People are going to appreciate it, and when you appreciate it, there's value to it, and you're going to want to pass it on and we keep it moving forward. So, that's why these events are important. It's not just it is a passion, it's a hobby, but it's also, like I said, it comes from the heart, and it's to promote Chicanismo, promote cultura, and embrace people, because it's all for the betterment of the raza.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dulce. You know, and every time there's an event, I will be there. I know you will be there, and every time that we have any kind of event like this, we're just strengthening the raza, and we're building momentum, and and I think in the future we're gonna see a lot of this, a lot of these events, not just events that I'm going to, or you're going to, or you're putting together, or this other person. But I think that what this is going to do is spark a lot of other interest from a lot of other circles, other raza circles, and we're going to see our people develop in ways that they have not developed in decades. And I would just say that I have to say that when it comes to culture, of course, we love our culture. Culture is wonderful, but the end result, the ultimate goal is, to have our people to embrace, a revolutionary culture. And Chicano culture is revolutionary because every time that we, maintain our culture, we practice it, whether it's playing our music, whether it's our dances, our artwork, whatever it is. Every time we practice this, this is an act of resistance because we're maintaining our identity. And for any people, any oppressed people within the world, any oppressed people who maintain their culture, it's an act of resistance because they're maintaining their identity. And when a people maintain their identity, they're fighting off assimilation. And this is very important because we are a distinct people. We're a distinct raza. We're a distinct nation. And so it's very important. I'm very honored to participate. Azlan Press will be at the Chicano Soul Fiesta. And I can't wait. I'm very glad that you put this together. And I was very impressed. That you had the consciousness and the determination to put together an event like this, because you could have very easily named it, the Latino Ball, the Latino Soul event. You could have done a lot of things. And the term Latino, even though it gets thrown around a lot, it does derive from colonialism, from a colonial past, coming from Spain and stuff. So the term Latino, Latina, I think it doesn't capture who we are as a nation. Chicano Soul Fiesta absolutely does. And I'm glad that you were conscious enough to see that, and rather than going with another name, you threw it right out there. This is a Chicano Soul Fiesta. This is our fiesta, and you're very proud of who you are as a Chicana, and I'm very, very glad that you do have that consciousness. And but let me just ask for the listeners, if they're interested in the Chicano Soul Fiesta. What's the date for that event?
Yes, it is on Saturday, September 29th in San Jose at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, the Fiesta Hall. And then we're going to have lowriders, their cars. So there's a limited amount that, bring your cars out. It includes 2 general admission when you register a vehicle. It's 18 and over. General admission is $20 and $35 VIP. These are pre-sale prices. Tickets can be bought at mazdulce.ticketleap.com. I have an IG page. You can stop by and check it out. The link is on the bio there. It is Mazdulce, and that's RG, and then Dulce Fernandez on Facebook. The event is also on Facebook, Chicano Soul Fiesta. And this just real quick, I want to send a shout out to the sponsors. Again, yourself, Azlan Press, who will be present, G-Code Street Gear,
Yeah.
G-Code Street Gear, JC Automotive, Masa Fotograsa, Custom Vida, who will be doing the videography, Apple One and Nika Vida, will be spinning and filming the oldies, Chewy Golders in the house, DJ Crazy providing the stage, and Heat Ice Round for doing all the artwork for the flyer. This is all people who have contributed and have been very instrumental, and I very much appreciate everybody being part of it. So again, September 29th at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, Chicana Sos Fiesta. Don't miss it.
That's right. Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for nothing. And thank you very much, Dulce, for being a guest on Free Azlan. And it's, for Raza like you who continue to struggle, continue to strive, continue to move forward, that you bring our people forward as well, bring our nation forward. And it's with people like you, with all the cultural workers, that we will, one day we will be free. We will reach liberation. And until then, we're going to continue to organize, continue to create these events, to keep our culture alive, continue to have our media in place, have our independent institutions, continue to promote all things Raza in a revolutionary formation. So I just want to thank you for being a guest today, and I look forward to seeing you at the Chicano Soul Fiesta.
Likewise, thank you for having me, and thank you to your crew out there as well. You guys have been very welcoming. And again, looking forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, Dulce. Okay, this is it. This is Free Azlan, 96.1 FMLP, Po People's Revolutionary Radio. And this was Free Azlan. Thank you very much.